Downs of investing, the loan versus own, the merry-go-round versus the roller coaster. So let's talk about that for just a second. As you know, one of the goals we have for you is to help you get started in your investing. This is a long-term thing. This is not something that this is a 10-year program, a 20-year program. If you're going to grow a money tree, it's going to take years to do that because we want it solid. We want roots in the ground. We want this to be solid and it can handle when bad weather comes. So one of our goals is that we're literally giving away our Berkshire Hathaway stock, our Warren Buffett stock. We're giving you money trees. And when you're starting to invest, again, the biggest reason for the investing is to get you thinking differently. When you are become an investor, you think differently than when you're just a consumer. When you walk into Disneyland, you think, how the heck did they do that? How did they build all this? How did that McDonald's get off the ground? What did they do and how did they do it? And it's fun. Investing is a game and games are fun. And investing's numbers. It's not real. It's not money. It's just numbers. And if you do well, then you get bonus items that you can spend money on. That's how I've always looked at it. When you're running your business, it's just numbers. It's not real. Meaning if you put it into numbers, then numbers are easy to play. And just like I said, business is a game and games are fun. So let's talk a little bit about your investing and your loan versus own. Now, as you're going, we have asset allocation. Your asset allocation is as you take your assets, you're going to allocate them in different areas. You're going to have things that you are loaning on, and you're going to have things that you are owning. When you loan money, that's when you put money in your checking account, your savings account. That's when you buy a certificate of deposit or a longer term deposit that might be 3 months, 6 months, a year, and they're going to pay you an interest rate. They're going to say, hey, for every $100 you put in here, we're going to give you a 2% interest rate. So if you leave it there for a year, your $100 turns into 102. That's a straight line. It doesn't go up, doesn't go down. It just says, hey, if you leave your money in here for a year and we give you a 3% rate of return, you're going to make $3 on it. That's the merry-go-round. It just goes around and around, doesn't go up or down. It just goes around. And there's nothing wrong with that. Part of your assets can be that way. Now, the roller coasters are stocks and real estate and other things. They go up and they kind of go down. Why do they go up and why do they go down? It's all about supply and demand. Supply and demand. So it's a law. So there's a certain amount of supply and then there's demand. If you have 5 pencils, for example, and you've got 50 people that want to buy those pencils, they're going to go up in price. But if you turn that upside down and there's 500 pencils and there's only 50 people that are interested in buying them, then the price goes down. Supply and demand. The more people want it, the more expensive it is. And people vote with their wallet. They're taking money from here and putting it over here. They're putting it in stocks. They're putting it back into cash. The money is moving around. So as a result, supply and demand kind of affects how well that company's doing. Is it making money? Now, the roller coaster, there's 4 ways to invest in the stock market. Number 1, you can pick and choose, which we don't recommend. When you get a little money and you put it in the investment account, all of you think now you got to go game it. You got to go to Vegas and roll the dice with it. Well, you don't pick and choose. Now, if you want to take 20% of your money and pick and choose, that's fine. And again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just asking you to do what when we give you money. Number 2 is you can put it into a mutual fund. And a mutual fund is where you pay someone else to pick and choose for you. And they pick the different stocks that they think are going to do well. But they're going to charge you money. They're going to charge you 1 to 2% of money under management. So for every $100 you have in them, they're going to charge you $1 or $2 to manage that for you. And that can be expensive over time. Number 3 is a pure index. An index it's like the S&P 500. It's the 500 biggest companies in America that are global. They're all over the world. And when you invest in that, you're just investing in the 500 biggest companies. That's an index. You heard of the S&P 500. You also heard of the Dow. There's 30 stocks, and I don't know why they really make a big deal of the Dow because the Dow's a roller coaster because there's only one computer company, one software company, one automobile company, one food company, and it goes up and down and it's more volatile. We want the 500 biggest companies, and that's what we watch. That's the third way, is to buy an index. Now, the nice thing about an index is that nobody's trying to decide which stocks to put in. There's just the 500 biggest companies. And as a result, it's more stable and has outperformed the majority of mutual funds. And one of the reasons is because the fees are low. They're not picking and choosing stocks. They're just taking the 500 largest ones and putting it into an index. And there's all kinds of indexes out there. But that same 6%, you might have a 1/2 of 1%. So that they charge you very little because they're not making decisions. They're just investing in the 500 biggest companies. So your net return would be like 5.5%. Now, the one I like the best is Berkshire Hathaway. Now, the reason I like Berkshire Hathaway is because it's a stock. It's a stock. And the company, there's a lot of great information on that. I write a lot about it in the new book, 5 Success and Money Steps to Financial Freedom, which you can download for free. Just go to the successmoneyfoundation.org and then go to the courses /courses and then free books. And you can download your free book and go through that. And the reason I like that is because they're companies. They invest in a lot of companies, and those companies make money. And as they make money, they take those profits and buy more companies, invest in more. So it's a stock. And the nice thing is that you could buy $1 million worth of stock and the commission is going to be very, very low, but there's no money under management, meaning it's just a stock. It's got some great tax benefits and other things like that. So as you're investing, the reason we like Berkshire Hathaway is it's a stock, but it acts like the S&P 500, meaning they own a lot of companies or they've invested in a lot of companies. It's a big insurance company. So that's our first choice. The second choice is the S&P 500. And then the third would be mutual funds. Then the fourth would be pick and choose. So now many of you have $100 or $10 into your investment account and it goes down to 8. Is that good or bad? Well, it depends when you're selling. Now, if you need to sell it next Thursday, that's bad. But if you're going to sell it 2 years from now or 5 years from now or 10 years from now, that's great. Why is it great? Because we are continually investing. We're continually adding more and more money to that investment account. Step number 1 is to make more money. You take your time and your energy and your efforts and make more money with your job and your small businesses. And then you get that money in step 4, which is the automatically invest. And then you let that run on its own. You spend your time and energy doing that versus the other. And so the goal is to buy more at lower price. I don't care where the price is today. I just want to know where it's going to be in 20 years from now. Now, when all the governments of the world can pay all their bills and we don't have inflation slowed down, and which it's not going to because they can't pay their bills, so they just print more money. You have to invest in things that go up in value. And when it appreciates, because we appreciate it. If you don't have it, then it's inflation. So the ups and downs, you can buy a bond, you can do a loan, you can do a bond, you can leave your money in the checking account, you can put your money into a longer term loan or a bond, and it's straight. If you put $100 in there, you're going to get $3 at the end of the year, and that's straight, no roller coaster. But over time, the roller coaster has produced about anywhere from 8 to 12% a year. Some years goes up, some years goes down. I don't really care. I just care where it's going to be in 20 years from now or 10 years from now. So that's kind of the game that we're going to play. And again, as soon as you get some money, you guys think you got to go gamble it. You got to go to Vegas and throw the dice. That's not the case. We don't do any of that. If you're going to invest in, if you're going to go to Vegas, Las Vegas, go see the shows, go to dinner, and invest in the casinos. Don't invest in trying to beat the casinos. That's kind of how it works. So you're welcome to go through. There's a whole great, wonderful sections on the successmoneyfoundation.org. You get a free membership. And again, we're a nonprofit educational foundation, a charity, or an NGO. So thanks for watching. We're going to bring Kurt Morton up next. We're going to be talking a little bit about how you can get your businesses up and running and make more money.